I'm gonna say I can guess this melody with the 3 notes, with 3 tones.
Alrighty. So yeah, so today, before we will go to presentation, let's do a quick retrospective again. Yeah, I will probably need to share the link with you. So go ahead, open it, and add your notes that you liked, that you didn't like in this sprint, and we will create action items based on that. Yeah, there will be some actions.
So the thing is working today.
What's up? Yeah, it's working. It's a different adapter.
Oh, I see. You bought the new one?
No, it's an old one. I got the new one and it didn't work. Yes, it's kind of good practice to start with what went well, and after that, I mean, unless there's like nothing to add to it. So for me, I'm kind of part of the mobile team, but I'm not doing like any kind of work within the sprint. So I'm just doing automation. And I feel like I'm kind of aside of the team, but I'm still participating in all the meetings. And like for retro, let's say like what went well. I said like, well, I didn't like really participate. I can say like personal, like I automate like 10 test cases. That's perfect. And sometimes you don't even know like what. I mean, because you work aside and you don't know what to add because you didn't really interact with a team.
Yeah, actually,
I don't even automate test cases. So.
Yep.
Any updates?
Yeah.
I did something.
Yeah, but you kind of need to say something anyway.
Yeah. Of course, I'm trying to have at least something to report.
Yeah. Where is Alex actually? He was the only one who actually submitted his automation test in UAT. He was only one person, but I declined it because he skipped code review.
Hi guys, I'm here. I'm from.
Oh, you're here?
Yes, I was so exhausted with this test automation, I just couldn't make it.
I see. Yeah, we'll forgive you. Just today, yeah. Yeah, guys, remember all coding exercises, it should be code reviewed.
Still 20 left.
Yeah, should be fine.
What's wrong?
We have 80 seats, but I mean, some people kind of decline.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. All right. All right. All right, guys, ready? So I will start to go over. So you can like add any additional notes while I'm reading it. So a good thing is we did real automation. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
After like 4 weeks, like you already have something to automate. It's nice. Started real test automation. That's nice. So thank you again for teachers. Last lesson was great, and I personally understand it on 100%. Oh, perfect. I'm glad to hear that. So the last lesson we did.
We improved our code with
Yes.
like before class. And
Oh
after
yes,
class.
yes. The features before and test. Yeah, perfect. It's good to know. Lessons coming more interesting. Yeah, I would say like it will be like even more and more interesting, especially once we will start to integrate our API and use our like a bundle of access of database, API, and the web. So it will be pretty cool. Okay, so this is that was the last good thing. So let's go to the what can be improved. So it's impossible. Is it possible to shorten grooming session? So you want to like, you think it's too long, taking too much time?
I can say it takes more than half of our Saturday bootcamp class with everything, and we have like less time for explanation and another
Yeah, that makes sense.
classes.
Yeah, we will try to go over like because you understand like most of the tickets they kind of repeating itself, so it should be easy. But test planning, who could elaborate a little bit on that?
It's my request. I was thinking like our team spent a few days, maybe 3 days, to just realize what should be tested, how to organize their our tests, actual test cases in their class, and so I guess we need to know about how it should work and let's say best practices, what should be tested, how it should be tested.
So what do you think was the real problem there? Why it took you 3 days?
We were discussing how to, for example, we are working on PDP page, and first our attention was like software where like compare data from PLP page to PDP page. But yeah, it looks like it should be the same, but then we just realized it is the same object which is API is working on. Like it is the same object in database. So actually we don't need to test that for now. And then we went to their functionality, add trip, create trip, and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So for us, without that kind of experience, I guess it would be nice to know how we should proceed. Let's spend maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour, or I don't know how much time, but I guess everybody needs this kind of basic knowledge about test planning.
So my thoughts here that you're kind of supposed to know how to test the application, right? Am I right?
Yes, correct. But we all have like manual experience and
yeah, that's exactly what it is. You have a page, you need to figure out how to test it, like what to test. And once you figure that out, that's your plan for automation. So you cannot really automate whatever, right? There should be basically what you're automating is really just a regression suite. Whatever you have in your regression, you're just automating that. But it's up to you to decide what needs to be tested really on the page, and on every single page there is a whole bunch of features that you can test. Still kind of not clear to me why it took you so long trying to figure out, because probably if it was me, it would take me like, I don't know, like one evening for the whole PDP entire completely. I mean, there is nothing to do really. Come on.
As I said, it was like an actual example with comparison the price, name, and everything. But then we just it can be like
it's. I think it's good. I think you can do that. Why not?
For me, it's not clear how to organize everything in test class. Oh, in class. For example, first test would be get this text from name of the hotel, and then you have to navigate to another page and get the same text on the another page. Where should be this navigation step? I don't want to be redundant in one class related to PDP. I want to reuse this navigation step in the future. So.
Well, yeah, right. I believe and this is a boilerplate code, so you cannot really reuse much. But today we're starting page object model, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically will answer your question. So the whole point there was not to reuse, but to learn how to automate with the automate the test cases with a kind of less effort, just to get an idea. However, of course, it's not the way it is in the companies, and there is a better way of doing that. So we're still learning. But just to play around with like clicking, with finding elements, figuring out locators, having fun with the sync issues, of course, when you have to wait for page load and all that, all that stuff.
Yeah.
There is no way you can avoid that. It's still gonna be there. Just the form of the test cases is gonna be different.
Yeah, what can I add from myself? So basically, I mean, the whole idea for automation is automate test cases, right? So that's like we cannot just to start scripts from the scratch. We should have like kind of documents to reference it. And I mean, that's why I kind of was, you know, like didn't bypass like many test cases, which like wasn't like correctly described, but it was fine at this point because we're not learning how to write test cases. We are learning how to automate them. So basically test cases, all we need, like we need them only to automate. I think for now it's maybe harder for you because like it's a new project. You kind of like starting to learn how to use it and how it works. So hopefully it will be like easier like later on to interact with that. But yeah.
However, there is a life hack. We have some people here who knows the project pretty well. No, not mentors, students.
But my point was.
They can help you with that.
Huh?
They know everything, all the APIs, databases, everything.
Yeah.
And they reside in Slack, so.
Okay. So for now we have to like focus on the locators, and we shouldn't care about like where to hide this navigation step in between test cases to be
yes, exactly. I mean, you see,
that's why we. Yeah, go ahead.
That's what I mentioned before. That's like for now it should be like really robust code, like very maybe complicated, not reusable. I mean, it's fine because we are gonna refactor it, right? Even like in previous session, we kind of refactored already some of the tests when we added fixtures, kind of methods, you know, like, so it will be improved like one by one. So for this, like in this point, just use your current knowledge and don't think too like ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that, but like if it's not clear for you, like it's kind of makes sense for me because we're not covered it yet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, the next topic. It will be nice to have a Confluence page for after each lesson with the overview of what we learned at this lesson. Yeah, I think for now, let me open it. Here. Spaces, automation. Well, I'm kind of, let me see. I'm trying to actually structure it as well. So I'm kind of adding videos. I'm kind of like divide them by the topics that we covered.
Yeah, and slides are there as well.
Yeah. So and web automation, like it's for now, like all the automation related stuff should be here. So basically, you can see it right here, and it should be divided by the topics that we're covering. Do you guys feel that it's still not well structured, or do you have any suggestions? How can we improve it?
Maybe some more text.
More text?
Yeah, because watching the whole video can be long.
Uh-huh.
And maybe some main things that you
But we have
pay
slides
attention
over
to.
there. You can just go through slides.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Like a short description, even?
yeah, kind of.
Or agenda.
Agenda?
Yeah. I mean, before the lesson starts.
But it's
I
in
mean,
slides
I
again.
mean, it's okay for me. Anyway, you have to open the video and rewatch it if you need it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe I'll add short description, and you will see. You will let me know how it is. Okay. Please don't give us the sources on Indian accent. It's sometimes difficult to understand and push us to it another source and spend time. Well, here's the thing, guys. Like most of you work in tech already, right? And you guys know like how many Indian people around you. So
99%.
yeah. Well, maybe it's less, but you kind of need to like. It's kind of like I think nowadays it's you just need to understand it. Like there's like no another way. You have to communicate with these persons, and you know.
I would add here that United States is a melting pot, and if you feel that you're struggling with when you hear them, they basically feel the same. Really, everyone feels the same because there is so many people around the world. In my team, we have people from China, a couple from India, of course. Serbia, I believe, Mexicans, Russians, Americans, you name it. And yeah, I mean, you have to work with those folks. So yeah, I understand this, but somehow there is a lot of nice videos by Indian people on the YouTube. And so personally, when I try to find something, for example, for some other course, 80% of nice videos are made by Indian. And we're actually thinking to record our own videos. However, guess what? They will think the same about us because we are not native speakers.
The nonsense Russian videos.
Yeah, they will say like, yeah, I have no clue.
After 20 videos, accent, it sounds like native. There is no.
Yeah, we are trying. Yeah, we're trying the best, but there is not that many really available, and there is a lot of them, but not all of them we can really recommend. Really, and for me, again, so in this case, it's basically Azad, right? Searching for those videos for you, but for my basic group, it's exactly the same. Mm-hmm. The videos that I like and I can recommend it, to me it takes like hours to watch them really in order just to give them something. So
yeah, the same.
And it's for us it's a lot of time we're spending on watching them, so we can say, okay, this makes sense, I can recommend this and include that in program. So it's not that easy, guys.
Yeah, I mean actually I did already notice that too. So I think in this homework it will be more articles based. So you will read it instead of watching it. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. So still don't understand selectors. Okay, this is fine that you don't understand selectors because the way how you're gonna learn it, you need to practice in your tests. You need to write in your tests, and that's how you're gonna practice it. That's how I learned. I mean, I also took classes for selectors. I tried to understand by my own. I tried to play around, but the really thing when I started to, I mean, like understand them, it's when I start to work on the projects and resolve problems, and that's usually how it's how you should do it. Yeah.
So can that person turn on the microphone and, and the camera? So I'm just curious, like, what exactly the problem? What do you think?
It was me.
Oh,
What was
okay.
you?
Okay.
I mean,
So what do you
did
think is the
homework,
problem?
So I use selectors,
Mhm.
but when I rewatch the video,
Mhm.
you guys do it really perfect. It's really small and like right.
Mhm.
When I try to do it, there's no ID, there's no name, there's nothing that I can use easily.
Okay.
Mhm.
I need to use some selectors and this huge thing,
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's just freaked me out. When I couldn't do
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. So, yeah, of course, we show, of course, unintentionally, we take those examples which are easier, that's right. But for example, Alex approached me today and asked, like, how can I find this locators? And yeah, there is a challenge for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
There is a few ways of doing that, but it's not that straightforward, of course. And I would say the only way to really get the idea is to practice a lot.
And when I asked my coworker about the selector, she said, "Oh, it's fine that it's too long." It was so huge. I mean, it's fine. There is no way to like override it.
You should say no.
I mean, I couldn't say anything, but
Well, first of all, yeah. So first of all, focus. Try to find the selector that works.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the how long it is or how bad looking it is. Try to have as less dependencies as possible. So
Mhm.
it should be like a relative selector, not the absolute one. Meaning that you're not going through the DOM like what is this, like head
Yeah.
body, right, like all the way. So it's like really, if it's XPath, it's gonna have a lot of slashes. No, just try to stick like on that particular element, maybe one level up or one level down, or like two levels, but just within the same area.
it's I found the element, I copy SSS selector, and then paste it in search, and then remove all the parts that I don't need to, and like, find the part that I would like good enough.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure that it's still good. It's working.
Well, when I started, I used to use this Firebug with Firepath in the beginning because yeah, it was hard. And then I realized that actually I can write better locators, and it actually takes seconds usually to write them.
Mhm.
But you have to practice.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Just practice. And the more examples, more test cases you will write, the more different use cases you will see. And sometimes they don't have like anything at all. Sometimes it's a freaking table within the table.
Mhm.
And then you're like, oh my goodness, what is this? Like nothing unique here. So then you will think, you need to think like about some pattern. Okay, like how can I, what's the pattern here? Like, can I use like indexes maybe, or can I use some other stuff?
There's other things.
But
Java is easier.
it's not. Trust me, it's not
Yeah,
even
so-
close.
I mean, there may be a solution for it. There's a lot of extensions that's kind of finding it for you. But I actually didn't include them in purpose because I wanted to practice by yourself.
Yeah, I'm strictly against them actually.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I want to understand how it really works.
Yeah, but I can like still share it with you. You can install, play around, and see if you can like a bit actually this extension and write better. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Need more examples during explanation for more clear understanding. Okay. So you can actually help me with that, guys. Every time once you don't understand something, you can interrupt me and ask what exactly you're doing, like why you're doing that. Right? Because sometimes I'm just like automatically typing And it's kind of makes sense for me, but if you're like still confused, feel free to interrupt me. All right. Well, it didn't match sprint goals. I mean, yeah, actually I was upset too. So when I saw the, I wasn't crying, but I was expecting to see like anything to contribute, but all I did is just reviewing the test cases.
So why it didn't happen? It's actually not too bad, huh?
I spent
No, it
2
is
days
bad.
to write automation test cases. Not all of them. One did cut, not widget. So I mean, not automation test, just test case that I write.
Yeah, so
So
it took
test cases took
Yeah,
you
longer. Okay. Okay, we will see. You guys still need to finish them because it will be blocked for you to implement further homework. So we will carry on it to the next sprint. So like you need to finish 5 test cases. All right.
And we will probably automate a lot. So
Write more.
if it's not like today, then tomorrow. Just be prepared.
All right. So fast planning. So
I'm
first
sorry.
one.
May I ask a short question about testing framework?
Mhm.
We uploaded these Selenium jar files, right, to the root directory.
We did it for the Selenium intro session, yes. But right now, it's all handled in Gradle. Like
Right.
Mhm.
So we didn't need to do that.
No, you don't need to do it. You just need to import the project and that's it.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
So what Gradle does, or Maven, or whatever dependency build tool, it actually grabs all of those dependencies from external sources automatically.
Right.
Because your project is really, you should not have Selenium itself as a part of your project, but Selenium is an external dependency. So you don't push it to repository, really.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
use it, but it's somewhere else, right? So Gradle takes care of that. So you push only your code to your repository, nothing else.
But for our local project, we did have to do upload.
Right, because we didn't have Gradle.
Chrome driver, right?
And Chrome driver as well, everything, yeah, because we didn't have anything in place. Well, Chrome driver actually...
Yeah, you have to install it anyway.
Yeah, Chrome driver, there is at least 4 different options on how to install it on your machine. It's usually, you usually don't save it to like a root folder. It's usually installed kind of as a regular application. To basically, you just need to add your Chrome driver to path somehow, like the same way we did with like Gradle or what was that? Maven, right?
Yeah.
We added them to path. So
Java.
So the same thing for Chrome driver. Once you add this to path, then you can actually share the same Chrome driver with different projects, because Chrome driver is not part of your application, is really third-party application. I would say it's more applicable to Chrome itself rather than your automation code. Right?
Understood. Thank you.
Cool. So first task is, I mean, this task is assuming you finished your 5 test cases already. So basically, after you finish that, you will need to start to refactor them using a page object model. So I feel like in this point, in this stage, it's you kind of don't know that, but we're gonna cover it today. And the thing is here that, let's say if your team works on my profile page, right? You will need to create different class for like different page object for my profile, and you will need to implement methods that can be reused by other people in your team. So just keep it in mind, and you will also need to collaborate with your team, how you're going to do that and how you're going to implement it. I mean, I'm going to show it today. Actually, maybe not groom this one because I think it's really confusing for you. We can like leave it for now. And We can actually groom it. I don't know if we'll do it on Tuesday after we cover today, and
we can do it later on today.
Yeah, or later on today.
At the end of the course.
Yeah, that's maybe the option. Okay. So interview bullets. How many points, guys? Just 3? I mean, three points. 3 bullets.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, just 1. Interview questions. That's actually format is different. So first of all, before that, you will need to read what's the POM and what's the page factory, right? I left articles that you need to go over and read. And for this exercise, you actually need to answer it by your own words, and I will need to check it if you like, just to describe as you understand it. All right.
Yeah, guys, this is something critical. You're gonna be asked what's page object model 100%.
Yeah. So write it by your own words. Do not copy paste, and I will review like each answer individually. Okay. Yeah. So how many?
Yeah, in fact, there is a many forms of this question. They not necessarily will ask you what is page object model, but they can ask you, how would you build a scalable automation framework? And the answer is using page object model, and page object model is la 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 la, right? We will cover that later on once we start preparing the resume. But this is very cornerstone of the whole thing. This is very important from the OOP concept standpoint. And this is how you build scalable solution, enterprise-ready solution. And they can name it like crazy, but it's all the same.
Yep.
Any questions?
Yeah.
4 questions?
Yeah, it's 4.
I think it's 1 once you read it.
Yeah.
And like, it's not gonna take that long.
I think it's 2.
So online people, what do you
I
think?
mean, it's hard if you don't know what is that, but if you already read it, which is the
Where to
next.
find it?
Actually, yeah, it's a separate story for reading it and understanding.
It's assuming that you already know what is that.
In your own words.
1.
Page object model.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with
1.
1 or 2?
1.
1.
One evening.
All right. Perfect.
1/2.
No, we're not gonna split points for now.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to open those links maybe?
Yeah. It's just articles. So.
Just 50 pages.
that.
It's a small font, reading.
I mean,
Just
actually,
academical language.
I mean, it's written in simple. Like I read them as well, so it's kind of like you can actually reuse.
You can just copy paste the answers.
Yeah, so it's basically like describing all of these questions, and you see there's a different type of questions, like what's the page factory class or what's the page factory. You kind of like you will see the answer from different perspectives, and I assume like after reading it, this will be easier for you to understand an answer. It's actually, I feel like it should be more clear for you once I will show you. After we'll do like refactoring class, you will have kind of idea, and after reading this one, you will kind of like, you know, get more inside of it. Yeah, so it's kind of like structured, so that's why I like it. And here, it's actually gives, in this article, it's basically telling the same thing, but it's not like question answer format, it's more like explaining format, and also it has kind of like real examples, like code examples, but again, like we're gonna already do that today, and I will like hopefully submit my code for a master in the like this evening, and you will see the actual code example of the page object.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice email. Rash Kumar. Everything to accommodate you guys.
Yeah. So there's like no Indian accent, but there's like Indian
Indian emails now.
All right. So
Of course, there is a catch.
Yeah. Okay, how many points, guys? Just to reading and understanding what
I
it
would
is.
say 2.
2?
I mean, you
Half.
really need to understand it.
1.
Times maybe.
So
I
1,
don't know
2,
how to
2. All right.
Yeah, online people 2 is fine.
Yeah.
All right. It's a new different topics that we're gonna cover next week. It's about weights. How can you weight in Selenium? So all you need to do here, just open this Guru 99 article and go over them and just to read. I mean, it's like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes to read. If
Who've been struggling with weights, guys? Of course, you all. And that's
All of
another,
us.
for sure, this is another very important concept, and probably they will ask you on the interview. There is, once you deal with UI, especially web automation, right? Mobile has some
it's more
concept.
native.
Yeah, it's easier, but for web, there is a couple of gotchas over there. Yeah, you all know that already.
So this website, I read there a lot of topics when I had some problems. It's really good, Guru 99.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm I usually just Google whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you Google it, but
90% of times it is Stack Overflow anyways.
Oh yeah, that's not a source.
All right. So, okay, how many points, guys? Just to reading. Not understand, like, it's good if you understand it, but if you didn't, it's fine, because I'm gonna go over it again.
1 point.
All right, guys, we finished all the tasks except for this form, but we'll
We
go.
don't have time for it. Sorry.
Yeah, we will do it after session.
You should put interview questions number 3 at the end. After the grades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Actually, like before I will start my presentation, let me open my IntelliJ IDE. And at the IntelliJ IDE, let me open my source tree. I will need to do something. All right. So before starting to code, right? What do you guys think I need to do? What do I need to start with? Here's a hint.
Pull request.
Exactly. No, not the, I mean, yeah, not request, but just to pull latest code. So first of all, I need to check in which branch I am, right? So I'm typing git status. So it says I'm on the p-test class. It's actually a branch that creates on Thursday. And it says changes to be committed. Like, well, I don't think I need it. No, I will just, yeah, discard it from here. And I need to switch to the master, right? So I'm taking git checkout master. So it's identifying I'm on the master and I am 3 commits behind, right? So what should I do? Guys, so technically saying the by 3 commits behind, I'm kind of having like older version of the codes, right? After my version locally, there was like 3 more commits added to the master.
Probably need to pull them.
Exactly. I mean, your answer was also right, but it's just shorter. Git pull. All right, so seems like it's all added. And let me check again. Git status.
Yeah, for now, we're not seeing any merge conflicts, huh? Wait a little bit.
Yeah. So fun stuff is coming, but not today. All right. So I'm on master branch right now, right, guys? If I start to write code, I will be on master, but I cannot commit it and push it from the master straight to the master, right? I need to create a branch for today. So let's create a branch. I don't remember the git command to create a branch, actually. Let me
check out B.
Oh, yes. Second. Yes, I used to have a source tree.
Yeah,
for all of this.
I haven't used like command line interface for like a couple of years now. Well, not for Git, though. I'm using it for some other reasons.
How to name it? Let's say form intro. You said -b?
I believe so.
Yes, switch to a new branch, form intro. So let me double check. All right, perfect. So I'm on the new branch, and it's basically reflecting all the changes from the latest master.
Can you show how it looks like now in source tree with the
Yes.
new branch?
So let's open source tree. Okay, let me open my project. So it's saying that I am on form intro, and if I fetch it, it will just say that it's the same as the master here. You see here's I see here's like different branches which is kind of ahead of the master, but they're not merged to the master yet. So it's safe to assume I'm up to date because the master is like a higher level of all the branches. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you guys heard about dev environment, about QA environment, stage environment? I don't know, pilot environment. What else? Like whatever environment, production, of course.
I heard about it, but I don't know the details.
So what do you guys think? What's the correlation between branches and those environments?
So it's you're working with your changes, but not like on live. Or not on the production.
Mm-hmm.
It's
in some companies, master is really nothing but like production environment.
mm-hmm.
So that's the code base that's running in master. In production, it's a master. And then you work on some other features. You don't push it to production immediately, but you push it to some other branches. Mm-hmm. And then it depends on the branching strategies, but usually there is some branch corresponding with the actual environment or build. And then that's how it goes. So before making some promoting stage to production, basically you have some branch, you can name it like whatever, release something, or it's up to you, but that code within that branch is going to be production soon, but it's in a stage, so you test it, and then if that code base is fine, then you actually promote basically that branch, kind of, right? And it's the same for, it's application for us. How do we support like stage and production and dev and QA? We can do the same thing. We can have corresponding branches, because if production is older, you cannot run the latest code, latest test cases against production. There is no such functionality yet, right? What you can run, some older branch, which matches, aligns perfectly with whatever is in production. So this way, if you want to run like against different branches, again, different environments, you need to like run specific branch.
And it's also, I think, the case when you like found the bug and then you need to check if it's because of the latest changes, mm-hmm. or it's like it was there before on older versions.
Yeah, you can basically open up that branch and then see like what were the changes, mm-hmm. who contributed to that, and like and figure out something. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, actually what's happened is like once you report a bug, and let's say like if developer, he doesn't know what's happened, he doesn't like see the issue in the code, he can like track on the commits, like after each commit, the issue was introduced. And he can like look at the history, check out the older and older version, and catch in which point the issue start to happen, and basically fix it in this way. So yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff about the Git. But back to our login tests, right? That we start to do in first day. So, all right, guys, before we will go to page object model, I want to do like few things. Like first of all, do you guys like understand what was the reason we added the features like before setups and teardowns? Like why do we need it?
It's going to be one automation test suite, no? With similar like.
Yeah, but like I can also add it in each test, right? I can also in each test I can initiate the browser, I can close it. But why I put it as a separate method?
Avoid duplicates.
Exactly.
And by the way, yeah, guys, if you haven't seen my presentation from the latest meetup last week, it was around patterns in test automation, and you would probably see the name of this pattern. It's actually #1 in that list. So not the part of the program maybe, but just if you're curious to see like how different it can be, this is basically what we kind of doing right now, giving it a different shape.
Yep, exactly. So, but we still have, so we moved these methods as a separate, like as a different methods, and we still have kind of duplicates, right? I mean, let's say to add something to the field, so we're basically using the same like 3 lines of code, and they basically repeating each other, right? I mean, even within one test, like when we're adding email, and the same when we're adding a password. So the only difference is the value and the selector, right? Everything else is the same, like all the actions is the same.
So we don't see anything, it's just widescreen recording.
Really?
So it's just only my problem. It's for everybody.
Is it better now?
No, just widescreen.
Yeah.
Wow,
Nothing.
Let me try again.
Yep. Now it's good.
Can you see the IntelliJ ID right now?
Yes.
All right. So wow, that's weird. Maybe Zoom issue. I don't know. All right. So again, here, like I was telling that we still have duplicated code, and these 3 lines of code, they're basically doing the same thing, but the only difference is locator and the value, right? So for me, it's telling to me that we can actually wrap it to the one method and reuse it, right? So let me declare it. Let's say this one for adding a value, right? So let's name it as private. So it's not gonna return anything. Let's name it like I don't know, send keys or add value or basically whatever you guys can name it. So it should actually reflect the action it's actually doing. And as input parameters, it should take locator and the value, right? So locator would be string, name of locator, and the value also will be string. And the variable name would be a value.
Maybe not send keys just to avoid confusion, but like, I don't know, type something or enter something, all right? Because send keys, there is a send keys method in Selenium. Yeah, type text, let's say.
All right, so what we can do now, we can just copy paste it, right? And so basically this locator and this text, they should be dynamic, right? We should pass it as the parameters. So to do that, I need to get rid of this one, hard-coded text, and add locator variable here. And for a value, the same thing here. Right, so, okay, so this method is ready. So for now,
let's clean up it a little bit again to avoid confusion. It's not password field anymore.
Oh
right?
yeah, it's
just like some field, right? It used to be a very special case password field. Now, because it's parameterized, we don't even know what it's going to be, right?
That's a good point. I missed it.
And oh, you can actually do it like nicely if you. So that was the one way, and then another way. If you right-click, then there is a refactor rename. If you do it from this, if you change it to whatever, see what's going on. It actually does it all.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Looks nice.
Can we move click on the first line just after all this thing?
I'm not sure actually if we should click it.
I mean, we should click it.
Yeah, you found
Yeah.
the field you need to click it.
Like, let's say if you want to switch to the password field, or if you're like on the email field, you need to click on it.
Really?
Or you need to press enter. I mean, once you finish typing, how you can switch to the password?
Just on keys. I would say usually most of the times it's not even necessary, but sometimes it is, especially if it's like jQuery heavy.
We will try both ways. If it's gonna work with without clicking, we can actually remove it. All right, so here we go. So this method is ready, right? So what I can do now, I can comment out this part, use it here, pass locator, which is...
Oh, and one more thing, maybe the second parameter, maybe say like CSS selector. It's really like...
But we're gonna use CSS only.
Yeah, but it's kind of not clear. You can pass XPath, right? Yeah, I know.
I mean... Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not using refactor again, just a habit.
Yeah, just try to, if you do something, you're building API for some other people, so they should be able to pick up the idea quickly. So instead of locator, they can just send XPath and it won't work, right? And they will be like, why it's not working? Something is wrong. You don't want to do that. Instead, you want to show them like, hey, it's actually CSS locator. So don't even enter XPath. It's not gonna work, right?
Alrighty. So we have this method, right? So you see, basically, instead of these 3 lines, we're just using 1 line and setting this as a parameters, right? So we can use the same one for the password as well. So from which it was originally copy paste, and the same thing here. So just passing the locator and the value.
Yeah, and it actually prints out this gray little text showing that it is CSS locator. Very nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys see, instead of like 6 lines of code, we're using just 2. And it's more like dynamic. So let's try and see if it works. And it failed. It actually, yeah, that's actually what I wanted. Because did you resolve your problem?
Yeah. I did.
How did you do that?
So
okay, so let me explain what happened is. So here is the error saying that the login button, like it was present on the page, but it wasn't clickable. So like the idea of Selenium WebDriver itself, it's actually limited to interact with only with those elements which are accessible for user. Let's say in HTML3, there may be some other elements hidden from user, right? or they may not be active. They may be disabled. And Selenium cannot work with them because the whole idea of Selenium just to, how to say
Simulate
that?
the user.
Simulate the user, right.
Users don't run jQuery or any stuff like that. They just literally click it. If it's not clickable, then that's it. So this is the whole.
It was too fast for like comparing to users.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it actually failed. It's like it's telling us that, hey, this element is enabled. I mean, this element is present, but it's not enabled for a user. That's why I cannot click on it, right?
Yeah, it's actually pretty clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, disabled button, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, hold on. Where's the actual error? Element button, and then in the end somewhere, right? Should say that this is locator.
Yellow disable button.
Scroll to there. Is not clickable, right?
Yeah. All right. So we have an issue that's of the topic that you're gonna read the article about, right? But for now, I can just tell you, in this case, we need to add special weight for it. And I have a code snippet already, so I'm gonna just reuse it. So basically, in simple words, we just need to explicitly tell Selenium just to wait specific condition, and the condition is when this element become clickable. Yeah, it's called explicit wait in Selenium. There's actually 3 types of waits, so we're gonna like talk about a little bit more, but for now you can yeah. I forgot where was my code snippet. Or let me try to type it. I guess I remember how to do that. So basically I need to add this wait until I'm clicking to the element, right? So I'm initiated this, all right. I need to add it here because it's not accessible outside of this method. And because I'm using it here, I need to declare the type of it again. And here I need to say wait. Do you remember the syntax? This expected. Yeah, let me find it.
Expected condition or conditions.
Accepted conditions, yeah.
Expected condition. I guess.
Then that element to be clickable.
Yes, that's actually what. Element to be clickable by locator. Perfect. Perfect. That's here. And we basically need
you
to
need
read
the whole by, I believe.
Oh yeah. By CSS. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see what I miss here.
I did not wait. I did until. So it's like I have it's my wait var dot until and all this stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wait until, right?
You mean you said like use different method?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you share your code? I'll just. All right. Let me just grab it real quick. Oh, perfect. Oh, okay, I see. I see what you're saying now.
So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty painful process. And even if you ask me, I don't even know how to, what's the syntax around? I don't use it.
Yeah.
And the reason is it's usually either part of the framework already, so you don't have to worry about that, or you can use some third-party libraries, which is my way of doing this. I implemented this like helper methods a couple of times in different frameworks, and then after some time you realize it's just a waste of time. There is plenty of tools available. You don't have to waste your time reinventing the wheel. So right now we're dealing with a very kind of low level pure Selenium stuff, which is ugly when it comes to actual development. Well, some people will say it's like perfect, but yeah, and instead of escaping, I would recommend you to use single quotes as well. It's kind of nicer, right?
So let me try again. Okay, so it waited until login is enabled, and yeah, so it passed.
So how we can improve this? Guys, do you see any duplicate code over there? Guys, line 49 and 50.
Oh,
Yeah, we do see.
so we can do it in one line. So wait until it's clickable, then click.
Same locator.
Yeah, same locator, exactly. Why wouldn't we declare a variable for that?
Let's do it.
So what's the return type of that locator?
Element.
So which piece would it be, guys?
String.
I would actually do it even further. Let me guess.
We need to convert it. I think it's if element or something.
No. That's a problem with the explicit weight. It works with that very weird 2-character type of object. By?
Yeah.
What?
By, right?
What is by?
You see the repeating piece is really element to be clickable, and then after that, by CSS selector data test ID login submit. This whole thing is repeatable in line 51 and 51. It's basically a button, right?
I would probably create a separate method to wait until and click on it instead of. So you're suggesting then is just to create defines a selector, right?
Yeah, we can actually do a wait as well. Yeah, let's do that. Hold on, let me show you another trick. So you have something that you want to extract, right, from the method, which is this guy here. All right, we want to have some separate method. So what you do, you just right-click, refactor, and then extract, and then method. Look, and then you give it a name, and the name would be, any guess? Wait. Okay.
Wait until button label.
Let's stick to something generic.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Why do we wait
until clickable?
So wait until clickable.
Yeah. So wait. Yeah, the idea is right. We can either say like long wait until the element is clickable. Too long, right?
Yeah.
Or we can say something weird like wait for clickability. Right?
Just wait until clickable.
I would actually I would actually combine this wait and click to the one method, because we are waiting it to click, right? So basically all we need to do is just click on it, right? Will it be considered as a good practice, Dennis?
I don't think so, but
Yeah.
usually, yeah, you should do like one thing at a time, because sometimes, I mean, you can just test that it becomes clickable after certain input, let's say, so, right?
Yeah.
You don't have, well, clicking it's like special case. It's like the next step, but not necessarily you want to even click it. Sometimes you just want to wait till it's clickable. But I mean, it depends. You can have one method wait for, you can have another method click, and then you have third method wait and click, which will combine both, right?
Mm-hmm.
and so on, right?
Wait. How would you decide to name it? Until
clickable.
Clickability.
I feel like we're not simplifying, right? I mean, okay. Yeah.
Well, wait until clickable, maybe then, and you have two L's in until. Okay. And then you can actually define parameters here as well. See here. Type, you can pick the type, you can, yeah. Oh, it's a static now. Yeah. Anyways, you can just click refactor and edit later, but you see, boom, this method is there, and that line disappeared and it got replaced with the.
Yeah, handy stuff. Yeah, I'm still kind of not, I mean, I know it exists, but I just like used to do like everything by my own. So yeah. So if you all start to learn like with a good practice in the beginning, I think it will be nicer. All right, so.
And yeah, feel free to look around. There is plenty of refactoring tools available over there. I just showed like rename and extract, but it's like 50 more. When I just started learning, I didn't even know they exist.
All right, so if we will create a method only for finding, right, we still need to click on it. And if we don't want to reuse the same locator, if you want to dynamically pass it, we still need to kind of declare a variable.
So is it the best practice if we wait until element and click in the same string?
I would do that. Like, I will wait and click, and I will say like click when, yeah.
So can we just put click over there and?
Have you guys heard about fluent interfaces? What? There is a trick actually. We can do that, and it's kind of cool. So if this wait until clickable, return type is void, really, so it doesn't return anything. If we change that to return the actual element, web element, the one that we're waiting for to be clickable, right? Getting the idea? So now, once it becomes clickable, this method will return us that element.
Oh, and we can click.
And we can click it without like joking around, you know.
Is it really going to return the web element?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to output.
No, probably, hold on, until, I'm not sure if until
Yeah, that's
returns.
why.
No, but we can still do it. Oh, can you mouse it? But I mean, it's not crying, right? What's return type for until method?
V.
Yeah.
What?
That's yeah, that's another level.
Yeah.
It's some like who knows what, and probably it should not because we. So let's go back.
So first Java become dynamic.
Yeah, this generics concept, it's can
Well,
be tricky.
I think we can try. I mean, I don't know. We can
No,
try.
let's just wait. Hold on. Let's just wait. First line we wait for that, and the second one we find it and return it.
Okay.
Right? You guys getting what we're doing? No.
Okay, I think we
wait
over.
until the web element will be clickable, and then return this web element, and we click it or wherever what we need to do with it in the program.
Mm-hmm. In the test case itself.
So we basically can click on it or do something else, right?
Mm-hmm. So okay, we declare a variable and it has it stored our locator, right? CSS locator for login button. So here we can just replace that with our variable. Is it clear? Yeah. Right? Instead of like duplicating, if we need to change it, we change it in one place, right? Now we can wait for that, and then we want to actually click on this, right?
Yeah, but now it's more strings of code than it was before.
So in the short run, yes. In the long run, you can reuse it every time. So yeah, basically the whole thing with refactoring, you kind of building the scalable code so you can reuse it. And if locator got changed, you can just change it in one place instead of going. And I saw in my company, when I started refactoring, there was some issue with some test cases failed, and then oh, it's locator change, okay, easy peasy. I changed that, and then I saw 30 something more failed. I'm like, what the hell? And it was because 36 instances of the same locator just scattered around, and I was like, oh my goodness, now I have to fix all 36. I was so pissed.
Okay, let's see if it works. So it does work. All right, so that means we can remove this part of code and this one. So basically it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line of code, right? Do you guys remember how massive this test case was in the beginning?
We can look at the 7th.
Yeah, we can look in the GitLab. We can find it in we can always find the previous version here, right? In a GitLab.
Or we can do it in the source tree, or even easier, I think, right?
Yeah.
Even in IntelliJ IDEA itself.
I mean, it will be conflicting with my changes, so I'll probably.
But we will show you. No, don't push it. Just check it in the source tree.
But I will need to stash it first, because otherwise it's gonna.
No. Just go to uncommitted changes. No, don't push it anywhere. Just go to uncommitted changes.
Uncommitted changes?
Yeah, scroll to the top. And on the right side, this is what we have. Just make it bigger.
Oh, yeah, you mean this one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, so, I wanted to show actually the previous version when we just created, even before and after methods.
Oh, the very old one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, yeah, probably this would be better.
All right. So this was, as you remember, my first test case, and you see like how many lines was here, and it wasn't even like completed. So it kind of included like everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we do it that way. So many lines, so many.
Yeah, you see like this kind of we simplified. our test, and we actually can reuse it in other test cases, right? So you see here, so it's the same thing. We can also use type text here.
Now you see the benefits.
Yeah,
Power.
the power.
Now basically every time we can just call that method. If something wrong with that method, we can just fix that method in particular, and it will automatically apply to all the places where we call it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Here we go.
But on the kind of long run, what we're doing, we chipping off the pieces of the test case and creating these different modules like fixtures, okay, this separate module, like some helper methods to wait, to click and stuff, like separate modules. And our test becomes smaller, and it's actually test logic itself, nothing else. So we're calling all those different places, and they do the job, like the actual technical stuff, like implementation details, but the test case is really about like what are we testing. Like when we enter something in this field and enter something in this field, wait for button and click it, then we see something.
Yeah,
It's clear, just a test logic itself, kind of, right? I mean, it's still far from ideal, but it's getting better, right? How do you like it?
I love it.
On the rate from 1 to 10.
9, because it's not
Wow.
ideal.
9 plus.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's actually what I wanted to start it. Then we can start to go over our presentation for page object model. Let me actually, yeah.
Azad, can you please push this file or merge it?
I will do it after this session. All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
I want to do I want to implement POM. Actually, you know what? Let me do it now, because we will have a different versions, right? Before, like after cleaning, before POM, this will be one version, and the second version will be after implementing the POM.
It
That's
is
right.
computer
That's right.
games, video games. Come on, anyone. RPG in particular, or strategies.
It's our boot camp. What are you talking about?
We don't have time to play. What basically, it's just the idea is the same. You save your progress, the game progress, right? So if something goes wrong, you can roll back.
Yep.
This is exactly what it is. You can mess up the code. It's fine. It happens. If you don't save it, you screwed, because you will have to roll back to the previous state, which is like the old one. So it's better, whatever you do, you save it. Whatever you do, you save it.
But
whatever
now-
you do, you save it many times a day. Like once you see like something is like looks more than or less, you save it. Those saves are free.
Okay, but there is another question. How to come back to previous version then?
It's easy. And we'll talk about that later once we get, if we get to the problem, but it's really easy.
Yep.
It's really in the source tree, just double click on the version. That's it.
Yep. All right.
We don't tell you the secret.
Yeah, we will later on. Just don't want to overwhelm you.
Yeah.
The whole point of Git, it's version control. So these versions.
All right. So page object model. Have you guys finished read this article that I sent to you as a part of homework? No, you didn't?
You say we need to do like one by one, and we didn't finish our automation.
Yeah. That's actually a good answer, because I will follow up on other questions if you will do. All right. So basically, what's a page object model, right? Let me actually open the web page, theplace.com. And yeah, I don't know why my browsers are squeezed. Probably the resolution for this projector is too small. All right, guys. So probably you start to work with your test cases, right? And let's say in every page, like every web application or website has many pages, right? And let's say this is a home page. So what do we have here? We have a header, we have a search bar block, we have a like a trips kind of slider bar here. So we have like any other components, and if we go over and over again, and we have a
Footer.
footer, yeah, exactly. Right. So basically, like this is like all the components, but other than a home page, it's not like a single page website, right? We have a different pages as well. Let's say if I will type something, I don't know, like London. So right now I'm on another page, right? This is like a search results page. And I mean, usually it's the same as a PLP. Like, let's say in my company, it's the same as the product listing page, but here it's different. So what do we have here, guys? So we still have a header, right? We still have a header, but the body of the page is different because we have all listed trips inside. So we can assume the header is the same on the home page, right? But the body itself is different. And this body only related to the search page, right? Because as you remember, in PLP, we had a different body, right? So if I scroll down, anything looks familiar? No,
Footer.
footer is exactly the same. So they kind of like inherited from the home page, like from the home page.
Is it has the same locators?
Yeah, it's exactly the same locator. It's exactly the same element. So the thing is, they're just reusing it in every page, right?
So we can do the same.
They're doing the same things. They are not trying to duplicate code and not kind of like create like a build, customize things. If it's not necessary, they're just reusing their code that they wrote for this block, right? For the footer. The same for a header. Okay, let's go to the PDP page. All right. So what do we see common in a home here? Yeah, header is the same, right? So the body, is it the same or is it different? I mean, yeah, obviously it's different. So we have like a list of the elements here, which is also different. So we also have this dynamic footer, and we don't have the actual footer, right? So the only like transferable thing here is the header. And let's go to the login page. So the same thing, right? The footer is the same, header is the same, but body is different. So what the page object model is, the whole concept, like in simple words, it's just to the way to divide pages and inside these pages just to use only elements that's accessible within this page. Like let's say,
let me put it this way. Every page should have its own class created by us. So, and then we create an instance of that class. That instance will represent the page. Right? No?
Not yet? Okay.
Like when you have a car class, you know car can drive and like.
No, okay, let's say we have a class for login page, then we have instance on sign up page, or something like that.
That's actually a good point. So we have a sign up page, right? Do you guys think it's the same page or not? Assuming like it's, do you guys remember it has the same locators, right? For the fields.
But we have one more field, so it's different URLs.
Well, we can definitely say that the image on the left is the same, right?
Yeah.
Like footer is the same, but what else? Username field is the same.
Password.
I mean, I would say that they similar, but not exactly, right?
As long as there is no username.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
functionality is actually different. They look similar though.
Yeah. So can we consider it as the same page?
No.
Any other
Yeah, no.
ideas? So basically, like when we're splitting the test, the pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
We kind of dividing methods which we can apply only for the specific page. So if we will divide login and sign up, right? So basically, by saying that, we are meaning that like all the actions for sign up and for login would be different. Is it the case?
So it's,
Assuming we only like in sign up, we're only adding like one more field.
yeah, it will be different. It's different logic, so it's different.
And it's actually a completely different workflow. We have to approve, validate the email and stuff like that, right? So, huh? Oh, it's not the case anymore?
Yeah, it's just you're just creating account and it's redirecting you to
Okay. To homepage?
homepage.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Show the avatar. Remember, you can run your
oh
test
yeah.
case.
We did.
No more.
Okay. Yeah, you used to be like, please confirm your email, then you have to open your mailbox and then click the, I mean, regular stuff, right? Just to make sure it's you, there is no fat fingering or anything.
Maybe they did it for testing purposes.
I mean, hard to say,
Just to make our life more easier.
but I mean, it's definitely way easier for us. So
I mean,
why not? I
would
take
say,
that.
I would say product managers, the last thing that they care about is the testing itself. They more
Right.
care about the user's experience, right? So they probably think like from the user
And
perspective.
sales.
Yeah, in sales, exactly. And they probably think about if it redirects to the homepage, that's probably, I don't know, more conversion,
Yeah.
right? So that's the reason. All right. So, okay, any arguments why it's not the same page?
Because the elements is different. I mean, on the page and logic is different. Everything is different.
Actually, the username is different on the register.
It has the same locators, remember?
Yeah.
And the actually,
True, right?
yeah.
It's actually interesting case.
And the password is the same, because you see, we will need to divide locators too, right? In the page object model. So basically, we will kind of repeating ourselves too, right? We're using the same locator for login and the same for a password.
What if we combine those two workflows in one? Because we don't have only a few things which is different.
Yeah, that's what actually brought up this conversation. Like, should we do that or not? What do you guys think?
I think
I give you like two arguments for to do that or not. Few arguments not to do that.
Not combine.
Why not?
If you're doing sign up.
Because it's different flows, sign up flow and login flow, and just for the sake of future, nobody knows how they change it. So it's better to separate it in the beginning and work in peace.
But workflow will be defined in our test cases. It's just locators related to login and sign up pages.
Yeah, but I think he referred to the app workflow, like which is not related to our test, right?
As Asad said, that if we combine same test cases in one class, then we will mess up it.
Maybe not.
Each page has to have each their own class, and it should be the rule or like the best practice. So then we should separate them.
Okay, guys, there is okay. Any other ideas? Like any other final thoughts until I provide mine?
I have a question. What actually we have to define in their page object model for each page? Just only locators or functionality as well, or some kind of functionality?
Functionality which are related only specific with this page.
And locators?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so basically, from functionality perspective, right, this is a completely different things, right? Let's say if developer says like, hey, I changed, I don't know, the button. Can you test this button? Like register button, right? So we see the kind of like the similar, using the same locator. So, but we should not only test it in register, right? We should also go to login and make sure like the login button also works as well, right? So basically from the functionality perspective, it's two different instances, and we need to test them separately. Like just assuming they are kind of reusing some of components and it's maybe affected for the login. But I feel like in this case, I would name it as a kind of authentication page and define the login and sign up methods in one class.
Why?
Because the locators are the same, like everything is the same, and like there's like, I mean, ideally by theory I should like create the two separate pages, right? But because like everything is reusable, I would do like in one.
I would.
It's kind of part of MOT or how
PO? OOP?
No.
POM?
POM.
Page object model, yeah.
So what I would do, I would extract the things that are in common and create a base class for them, and then keep whatever is not in common in a separate classes, and I would inherit from that base class.
So you will have 3 classes.
Yes.
Okay. That's one class.
Now we're talking, huh? What?
Yeah.
In one class, you will have to log out as well. You will have to go to your.
You can do it after each test.
No,
So
once you did sign up, you automatically logs in.
Yeah.
You have to
Right.
go
Yeah,
log
you're
out,
creating authentication. You
and
authenticate
then
user.
again log in.
what?
No?
I thought once you sign up, you logged in automatically.
Yes, but he wants to add this one to all together log in and sign up in one.
But it
Class.
doesn't matter. I mean, it's you have to do it anyway. I mean, depending on how many classes you have. You have to do it after each test. Right?
I mean, if you have to be signed in, then yes, but you don't have to. For some test cases, you have to be signed out, actually, right?
Right. I think there's already difference.
Okay.
All right, guys. Yeah. So you got an idea, right?
Yeah.
But
I got the idea about these 2 pages, but I didn't got the idea about objects page. Or
yeah, I mean that was the goal of the discussion actually.
Just trick you.
Yeah. So basically, again, like what's the page object model? It's the way how we separate each page by their functionality and only defining the methods that's applicable only for this page, right? And I'm gonna like show you the structure later once I will start to create it. But basically, when I pointed out that like these few pages having the same header and having the same footer, so basically we don't need to, I mean, this functionality for these both blocks, this will be the same across all the pages, right? And we don't need to create like separate page for it. So we can like define the one class from which we can inherit it and then use like in the login.
So we can create a class for footer and then use it for every page?
Yes.
Yeah, we can inherit like from, let's say for a login page, we can inherit from the like footer or I don't know, like maybe like in a base.
Probably I would actually, I would use like widget approach, because footer is not the page really. What is that? It's like a block. It's a block, right? And as we could see, it's actually applicable to most pages, but not to 100% all of them. Like for example, that customized strip, that one doesn't have footer. It has a header, but it doesn't have footer. So for that page, it's actually not applicable at all, right?
Which one is it?
Customized strip, I believe.
Customized.
If you go to the tree page.
Yeah, this one, customized strip.
Yeah, it doesn't
right?
have that.
So there is no footer here. maybe there's some other pages that don't have footer as well. Usually cart, for example, is a special entity, and what they want to do, they want to sell you and not distract you from anything else. So if you go to cart, it's usually weirdest page ever. You can only buy something from the cart.
Yeah.
And this is intentionally done.
I would say not cart, the checkout. Like there's like no way to go back from checkout.
They hide like footer and header and everything. They only show you like, this is the thing, this is the price, and this is huge buy button. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else is important at this point.
All right, so getting back to my presentation. So we already did that, we did that. So I already explained you what the POM is. Again, like just to repeat, it's like a kind of like a pattern. To be like, maybe like just, you would say it's like a pattern for like architecting your test from the beginning. And this is kind of like one of the best practices to use in test automation, because if you don't, I mean, there's some of the framework that doesn't require POM, like let's say Cucumber. You don't really need to use POM, so you can just use step definitions. That's we're gonna talk a little bit more after that. But it's kind of like standard for all test automation frameworks to have POM. So why do we need that, right? So obviously, to make your tests more like less unsecure, I would say, less fragile, more maintainable, so easy to develop, avoid code duplicates, and high cost of maintenance. It's basically the same thing as here.
And pay you a high salary.
Yeah.
The most important thing.
Because you see, like, even
because like, now it becomes, you know, tricky.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So let's go back to our code, right? It's always nicer to see in the code than in theory. All right, so we have a test for login, and we don't have anything for PDP yet. We have us for sign up, right? Well, okay, let's create, in this example, let's create these two different sign up and login pages. So to do that, I will need to create separate package, and only for
it's actually.
I mean, yeah, it's already created. I just wanted to show how to create it.
Package is like a folder. It's just Java fancy name for folders.
I mean, not only Javas, but.
I mean, for what?
Huh?
To store the separate code, like this way, no?
Yeah, I mean, using the packages. So basically, it will be easier from the import perspective, right? And it just, I would say, nicer to have them in the packages.
Hierarchy.
Yeah.
And again, it's abstraction principle, right? And decomposition all together. So you want to separate things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically, yeah, for navigation purposes. Because the drawback of OOP is that it's pretty heavy, a lot of classes and packages and kind of like tons of them. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of can be hard to navigate really without proper structure.
Yeah. All right, so the first page, let's create a login page. Let's not add it for now. All right, so we have a folder specifically that was created only for pages in page object model. So we have a login page, right? And what also we need to have here? We need to have.
Oh, hold on! I was going to show some other way of doing this. No, you can start with login page. There is another fancy way of using IDE for development.
No, actually, I wanted to create another page so you can like show base page. Yeah.
Well, it's actually not like how. So here we just kind of we're doing some preps for coding. What we can do instead, actually, it's what I was going to show you, the kind of better practice. Hold on, where are we? Step definitions.
Yeah, it's
okay. Here, right? So usually, which one is this one, right? So now we want to deal with, this is the test logic. The problem here is that we have all these details exposed. Well, this is test data, which is fine, but email is actually a property of login page, right? You following? So basically, what's page object model? It's a service that abstract those implementation details, but it actually offers you some service, some methods. So let's say, what are the methods that we can have for login page? What are the actions that login page can do for us? Any guess? The most important one. Login, exactly. What else? But that's very kind of high level, right?
You mean all the button clickables? I know, but
yeah, we can basically we can have another method saying like enter password, for example. If we need to click on it, if we need to say like what's the locator and all that stuff. For test case itself, it really doesn't matter. What matters that what we're going to enter in there, but page object model knows how to enter it, right? So what we can do here, we can start actually using page object model. So we will say, actually, hold on. Where is that? Just want to delete since it's like empty anyways. So what we can do, we actually writing the test case first. So it's a different approach. So look, I'm saying like, okay, what do I need? I need to create some page, login page, POM, right? And there is nothing like that, and I don't care. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna give it a class name, login page, like this. It's crying because it doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about, right? I don't care. I say like login page, which is the name of the object. It actually shows me that, and I'm saying new login page. This thing is just like thrown off, right? What can I do? I just click Control dot. Oh, hold on. What's the command? Enter.
No, it's this one.
Option enter, right? Yeah. It shows like, hey, do you want to create a class? Exactly what I want. Boom. Where do you want to put it? And I'm saying, okay, test pro deans, and it's actually after that pages, right? It's actually right there. You see? You see how cool it is? I'm not leaving this screen at all. I'm just stick to the screen, right?
You say we create POM or how?
POM, page object model.
So we create page object model. Hold on, what?
It's just a class that represents this page. Like the same thing, the same way we created cars and the same way we created some other classes. We just say we're gonna create a class which will represent this page. Instead of having all this code here, right? This is really only for login page, these locators, right? For PDP, it's not applicable to PDP, right? Getting the idea? No? Yes? I mean, online people.
Yes.
Let's move it forward. I think I will get it later.
Okay. So now you have this object and you say, okay, login page. You say, what shall I do? Well, of course, there is nothing. It's empty class. You don't care. You say like enter password. And you say, oh, hold on. Enter, let's do not the password first, an email, right? Email. And then you want to say the email is going to be this guy here, right? You know it for sure, right? Oops. Oh. Okay. Control C. Yeah, I need to get used to use Mac again. How do I paste that? Okay. No. Is that, well, whatever. I'm just saying that it's a string, right? And it's, this thing is crying, like she's like, or he's like, what the hell are you doing with me? And I'm like, relax. Option enter. Create method enter remain in login page. Boom. Look, it's right there with accepting a string. You see? Yeah. Then what else we should do? I'm just writing test logic. I'm not even doing this. These are just empty things right now, right? For a moment. Hey, come on. So what next? Once we enter email, we need to do what? Login page, it's already there. We want to enter password. And then the password is gonna be, for now, I'm just gonna say that it's some string, whatever, doesn't matter. It cries again, of course. Create method enter password. Okay, done. The second one is there. What else? So these two kind of done, right? I mean, the empty one, they don't do anything at this moment. We're gonna move them over there later on. What else? We need to do, let's say, okay, click a button for now, right? So we say, okay, oops. Login page. I don't like to expose like details, like click a button, I can hit enter, I can like do tab and enter, and all these different, is it important? Is it important really for this case? I would say no. So that's why I abstract it and I say like submit maybe.
But you can create different cases when you're clicking and.
Yeah. So for now, I'm just gonna. What's the what should be the type of the parameter here for that button?
Locator.
No, nothing. I mean, page object model will know how to do that, but there is nothing we should pass in order to help it, right? It's just like click, right? So, okay. So create method, done. Okay, now, basically this is our test case. So we can get rid of all of this and probably Azatki, you can do that.
Yep.
Right? Does it make sense?
Oh, yes.
So this is the service of that page that offers us all the functionality only applicable to that page.
Now
nothing else.
For each page, it has to have two classes, one for page and one for logic
or test cases. Yeah, that's an idea.
Yeah, so basically you have a highest level, which is test case logic, business logic. The second underlying is the page object model, which is technical details on how to do that, and then some framework stuff underneath.
Why do we need this page? Why do we need to create a page?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same as the test cases, right? In test cases, you're defining like action, like enter email, enter password, click login, expect results. That's it.
Well,
you're not like typing. You're not saying like press A, press B.
Yeah.
We kind of like, it's kind of like hidden.
So the problem with this is really, so if you scroll up a little bit, the second one, the second test case, and could you please show them both at the same time? So can you read the one that we just created? Is it like clear?
Yeah, I mean, enter email, enter password.
You're saying explicitly on a login page, enter email, enter password, submit. Well, probably we're missing something, the validation piece, right? But it's clear, right? What about the second one? Type text, CSS locator, login button, waiting, clickable. Kind of, I mean, you still kind of read it, but it's kind of little too much, right?
Yeah, because of all these variables, it's hard to read. When I wrote my code and I need to change something, I always put a comment so I can figure out what part of code doing.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what we're doing here, we're creating more classes, but because of we're separating this logic, technical details and test logic, now every class is much easier to read.
Yeah.
So from boilerplate code, when everything in the same, like a, I don't know, salad, right? Now we separating flies and you know, and so beef steaks,
Yeah.
right?
So if we move it to another class, is it encapsulation or it's not?
It's gonna be there too. Because yeah, the page object model is really OOP concept.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that we learned so far is going to be applicable to that. And they can ask you, like, if you cool kid, and they will ask you like, hey, what about OOP? Like, what have you used in your framework? You will be confident that you use pretty much anything and you can prove them, and they will give you 6-digit salary for that. So, no joke.
Okay, before I will start to fill in all these methods. So we already have a method for typing a text, right? Where we actually typing a text for a field.
Sorry, I want to interrupt you while we're not moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Can we make a note somewhere how with those cool hints and you show Dennis, because you show a lot of things tomorrow. I'm sure I will totally forget it.
You can do it like whatever way you feel comfortable at the moment.
I know, but it's
for me, it was really like breakthrough when I was doing this for quite a while, and then I saw it somewhere like, no way, like, can I do that? I was like, oh my goodness, that's the whole like automation. Yeah, like my world flipped, like really. I'm like, oh my goodness, I was doing this, it was so wrong.
Yeah. It wasn't like the same effect for me. I said like, oh, okay, I can do that, but that was yeah.
Basically, the concept is here is simple. You create class just by writing code, the test case. There is no such class, you don't care. And it will start crying, there is no such class, and it will suggest you to create it. So basically, while doing this, you don't even think, you just type, alt, enter. You don't even watch like what it's asking. You know exactly what it's asking, and the thing is right. That's exactly what you want to get.
You can also click on these lights, like red lights, and it will do the same thing.
Yeah, it shows you suggestions.
Yeah,
it's called IntelliSense, and it allows you to do like, it predicts your like input. It predicts your kind of thinking process, and it's really like not much to predict. It's like pretty much the same pattern over and over.
Yep, exactly. Any more questions before we will move forward? Okay. So, guys, we have this type text method that we created before page object, right? Do you guys think do I need to move it to the login page, or I'm gonna reuse it in other pages as well? Like, can I type text in the sign up page?
Yeah.
Or in the search?
Yes.
Yeah. So I cannot put it here, right? Because I don't want to strict it to be only a login page. So what can I do to make it more transferable through the other pages?
Any ideas?
Create another class like base class and put everything which is common to this class.
Exactly.
How do you know that?
It's another topic. Little bit practice.
Yeah. Actually, it was on the article in for a page object model.
Really?
All right, so yeah, this is the right answer. We will need to create a base class. So I'm gonna explain what's the purpose of the base class. It's basically we are gonna inherit from it our login page. Do you guys remember inheritance? OOP?
Yeah.
You guys?
So it's like a child class.
Yes. So basically, I inherit using like extends keyword, right? So now the base class is my parent, and the login page is a child. right? This is a superclass. This is a child class.
Yeah, the only suggestion here, let's give it a proper name. It's not just some class, but what is this? Well, what's the purpose of having this class here?
Base class?
Yeah, base class.
We have a methods which we can use
For what?
for everything.
For what
I mean,
everything?
I mean, if it's type text,
No.
we can type text anywhere where we need to. I mean, anywhere in the project, anywhere.
Anywhere where?
We can use it in other like poems, in other page object, like in other like pages or in other classes.
Okay,
like,
in another pages, right. So let's give it a proper name.
Which name would be proper, guys?
This is something that applicable to any page.
Base page class.
Base page. Yeah, class, it's, I mean, it's kind of, it's clear that it's
Itself.
everything is classes in Java, so you don't have to even say that. But yeah, base page, right? Makes sense?
Another question to it, guys. If you will work with mobile automation, right? They also using the POM. How would you name it? Like if you work with a mobile.
Mobile.
No, how would you name it?
Like screens, maybe?
Yeah, but yeah, base screens, login screen, because it's not page, it's screen, right?
Technically, it's kind of same. Not exactly, but kind of, right?
Yeah, the logic is the same.
All right, let me move it from here to here. And we see here two things, right? The first of all, do you guys remember encapsulation that you were asking about before? So do you remember what is it?
It's when we hiding someone. I mean, when it,
No.
I'm thinking of.
I mean, yeah, literally.
I mean, how I see in this example, all this extra thing we put in different class, like the login page. This is like encapsulation. We put it in a different.
Okay,
login.
so.
And we can use the logic. Don't even know what happened in that class. We just like okay, login, come submit, blah blah blah, and we don't know what's exactly in there, and we don't need to know it, but we can use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we have it here, so it shows private right now, right? You think it's right?
No, it should be public because we share this class, this method to their other classes.
I mean, you see in our test, we're not referring to the base page, right? We're referring to the login page. And the login page actually inherits from the base page. So which?
So what kind of access level we know?
All of them to be private?
Public, default, private.
What's the default is?
I don't know. I remember that there is some other except private and public.
So okay, let's do it. Okay, private, right? Can you go to like test case, let's say, and then try to call that method from here, or referring login page?
Yes.
So just to show how it works. So we have login page, and that one extends base page, which has that method. So can we call it from here? If we put dot, there is no such method, right? Why there is no method? Because it's private. So okay.
I can actually try to type it.
Yeah, you can do that. It will cry.
And it will tell you.
It will pick up your idea, but I mean, this thing is smart.
It will say.
So why is that? So do you guys think, is it right or is it wrong?
No, if you need to use it somewhere else, it shouldn't be private. The private means we can't access to this method anywhere else except this class.
Okay. Do we want to access this method anywhere else?
Of course, like
from where?
From logging class?
From
At
login,
least? Yeah.
from the test case itself? Any other guesses?
I remember that you told us that most of methods should be private.
Right.
Yeah, why? Why is there should be in private?
He didn't tell us.
Good one.
I think so for other people not to mess it up, maybe.
I mean,
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Pretty
you don't
much.
want to distract people from like some irrelevant actions.
Can we do the access to particular one class?
Which one?
I mean, there's more access type. There's public, private, and more. But I don't remember what's exactly
Which one is that, guys? Online people?
Absolutely.
You choose the
No.
third type.
Sorry, what is the question?
What are the access type you know? So there was a private, there was a public, and there is at least one more.
There is default type. Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the default one?
I don't know. There is.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you can.
So I Google it. I don't know yet. So it's protected.
Hybrid.
What? Hybrid?
Protected.
Protected. Yeah,
Protected.
And
So
what's the
what's-
protected means?
So this method, you can access within the same package or classes in different package.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
So let's maybe try one more thing. So let's go to login page itself and then try to call that method as well. The same type text from the login page, within the login page from the class. So for example, for entering email, we need that method, right?
Oh, the default one, if we didn't specify anything.
And which one is that?
What's the default is?
It's when you don't put anything, no public, no private, no whatever, it will be default. And it's
Which one is that?
it's kind of public.
It doesn't say which one is
I
that?
mean, I just don't want to read a lot.
Okay.
I mean, we usually don't. I've never actually dealt
Yeah, if
with
you don't
default.
know, guys, what is this? I think you don't need it.
I mean, you don't have to even say anything. It will be, I believe, public.
Yeah,
In
it
C#
is.
it's actually private, which is right. I believe in Java it's public, but whatever.
Yep.
So guys, we try to call this method type text from the login page, and it's not allowing us to do. Why is that?
You're right, it says it's the same as C#. The access only within the same package. That's right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Package or the class?
No, it says package.
Okay. Anyway, so guys, we try to call this type text method. What's wrong with this method here? Why it's not working?
Assuming on the same package as you said.
Yeah.
You need to put like you need to put before it something.
I mean,
Oh, the object? No, we don't have to because we extend. So yeah, that's the thing because login page is a base page, right? So we don't even have to.
Oh,
You can
have to
actually
put,
think that method within the login page automatically, so you don't have to create any class. Oh, guys, have you? How's the name of semicolon at the end? No, the semicolon. This one. What's that?
I don't remember actually.
No, just type it.
Oh.
So this thing, what's the name of it? I'll be back. It's called Terminator.
No.
No way. Yes.
It's the first time when I hear it actually.
No joke. It's called Terminator.
Oh,
You terminate the line.
Terminator.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can say semicolon.
Yeah. Maybe not the
I
most.
like Terminator more.
I think it's easy to remember.
Yeah.
If you throw it during the interview, they will think like, oh, this person knows like everything. No kidding. And so it's easy to remember. Anyway, so let's. What's wrong with this? Why it's red? Why it's crying?
Let's see.
Oh, okay, I like that. So because it's private, right? Okay.
But we extended.
Even though we extended, it's still private, so it's not. It's only within the class.
Oh right, we need to change it to protect one or protected.
Okay, let's do public first. So now it's public. So let's see on the login page. It's not crying anymore. Well, it's crying because we have to pass parameter. That's why, but it's right. And here you see, it's actually available here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think, is it ready to go? Why?
Not safety.
We don't want to expose like those sub-level logic, like how to type and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So our page object model is the opposite. It encapsulates and abstract those things. So what we really want to do, we want to allow to use that method only for pages. But if we call it from the test case, from the test level, it's not allowed there. How can we do that? Huh? No?
Through getter and setter?
No, we don't even allow that for test methods.
You tell us.
What's the?
I mean, okay, the public will also work. It's still kind of fine, but here's just a better approach from the best practice approach.
It's around page object model because it's OOP. It's better to do it like right. Otherwise, if you do wrong OOP, then kind of the whole point is compromised.
All right, guys, we're kind of like running out of time. I'm gonna like speed it up. So what was the third type that we were talking about?
Protected.
Exactly. So let's see. So now it's not crying here. And here, what it's saying is protected access, and it's in a different class, right? So that's mean I cannot use it in the test itself, but I still can use it in a login page because it's a child page from the parent page, right? And let's say if I create, I don't know, like one more page, one child page for the login page, right? This will be like 3 level of the classes.
Mm-hmm.
It will be inherent from the login, and login will be inherent from the base. Do you guys think it still will be work? Like protected level?
I think yes. I mean, we have a superclass, we have a child class.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from superclass we can use in the child class, and then from this level we still can use everything from both levels.
Yeah, that should be the case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually different programming languages. It's maybe different, but in Java, I believe you can use like all protected methods in all child classes.
In all the nested classes, they will be all fine.
All right, guys. So what we are doing here, we need to. So we already defined the type text, right? So it's crying because we are referring to the WebDriver, but WebDriver is not defined in a page. It's defined in the test, right? We don't need to initiate in the base page, so we can just define it. Driver.
There is a duplicate driver.
Oh yeah.
It's just a space is missing.
So this one is null currently. It's like a default type. So we're just saying that it will be there in some of the point. So what we also will need to do here, right? Because we are using a driver methods inside the page object, right? This means we need to tell them which driver they should use, right? And to do that, we need to we need to create constructor for this class, telling that we need to pass a driver for this class. Okay, let me start to do that. So because it's constructor,
the hint, you can do CTOR.
CTOR?
Mm-hmm. Like a constructor, CTOR.
Oh, nice.
OR, and then tap, I believe. No, it was showing that red thing, or maybe Alt Enter or whatever. No. Okay.
So
no,
like
it's there for sure. I just don't remember. Yeah, there is a whole bunch of shortcuts, guys, for things like this. Instead of typing like public base page, we just do like crazy stuff.
Yeah. So here. I believe it should be here, right?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's like not wrong, but it's best practice to keep all the fields on top and then constructor and then all the methods down.
What the constructor do?
This yellow base page, which matches this is how you create an instance of this class, right? Right, guys? Remember constructor? You say car, new car, like page, new page, right? So what next? We need to assign the driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the keyword? Yeah.
This driver equal to.
You guys all remember that?
All right, guys. So here, why do we need driver here? Again, why do we need driver in base class? And why we're like defining the constructor here?
Because we will call this object in the future.
I mean, yeah, that's the case. Because basically we're using the method inside the WebDriver API, right? But we are not initiating it from here. We're gonna initiate it later on, right? And that's why we are saying like, okay, if you want to call me, if you want to call base page, you need to provide the driver that you already initiated, right? And only after that, I can start to implement, start to run this code, right? Because if you're not passing me a driver, if you're not telling which driver you're running your test, I don't know where I need to look on it.
Yeah, think it this way. Can you open a page without browser? Not possible,
Yeah.
right? The same thing here. You cannot do anything if there is no browser, and driver is basically your browser. Right? Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I just still don't get the purpose of constructor. Why we can just do it without constructor?
Constructor is needed to create an instance of this class.
Why we need instance?
For tests, it's actually how I did it on login page over there. You see, yeah, this one. Where is that? Login page, new login page. So this new login page is actually constructor. And it's default constructor, so it doesn't accept anything. However, once we've updated that to this, now it's all gonna cry.
Yeah. So you say it's crying that base page is kind of requires us to get a WebDriver, right? But login page doesn't. Right? So we will need to define the same constructor for the login page. So they should be the same.
I think luckily you can just do option enter or something. I believe so. Just to click login page and no default constructor and just to do this thing. Create constructor matching super, you see? Nice, right? You see this? Boom. That's it. Nice. So now the login test case will cry.
Yeah. So basically, it's saying use the same driver as the parent one are using, right? So the initial initiation is here, and login page just reusing the same driver. that was passed here. Yeah, it's kind of like, as a tree. All right, so, and we need to add change here now, right? Because we are initiating a login page, but we're not passing anything. So why do I need to pass now?
URL?
No. I'm just, let's say, okay, again, so base page, right? We are explicitly saying, hey, to initiate this, like if you want to start to work with this class, you need to pass driver. You need to pass the browser in which you're gonna run the test. For a login page, we're saying, okay, your child element and you and your parent will use the same browser.
So then we need to pass driver?
Yes, that's exactly it. So in initiation level, we are initiating the driver here, right? In the before method. We are saying it's a Chrome. We're setting like implicit weight, explicit weight, pretty much everything. And we need to pass it here saying this is the same driver.
And in this case, we don't need all stuff anymore.
We still need to open the initiate.
Oh, yeah.
We still need to define it to Chrome. We still need to define it.
It's basically your test case precondition. It's not related to page itself, but it's your test case logic. So in order to execute some login page test cases, of course you have to have a browser, right? And more than that, you have to navigate to some certain page, which is login page in our case. So those are like kind of preconditions, right? And even preconditions now kind of leave aside of the actual test case. We don't know if it's fine or not, but for now, let's stick to it and we will see.
Now I see why we will have a lot of merge requests, merge conflicts.
All right, so back to the login page.
Yeah, let's implement this methods, enter email, enter whatever.
So for the enter email, we're adding this.
Oh, you need to drop value, right? It's coming from enter email. It's coming from here actually, and then you can say it's email.
Yes.
We're gonna pass the email as a test data, right? So it will come all the way from the test case. Page object model doesn't care what we enter. It doesn't know if it's valid or not. That valid or not, that's the test data stuff based on the test case. Page object model just does what we ask, right? Yeah. So again, we're not saying like, hey, page object model, could you please test the page itself? Like, no. It can enter something, it can clean up something, it can refresh or navigate to itself, but we cannot ask it to test. That's a test logic.
Wait, actually, like if it's a method for email,
yeah,
we can just leave
we should leave the locator here.
Yeah.
Right, and
we don't need to pass anything.
No, string email. You need to pass string email.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm still passing the email because I don't know it here. Which email?
And this one should be replaced now with email, right? Is it clear? That email is coming from test method and it goes down to the base page, right? So what about the enter password?
We're still typing it, right? We're still typing it using a type text.
So this one is going to be, it's better to rename it. This is password this time, right? This one is again coming from test method and the locator is wrong, of course. So I believe just the password. And then submit. What is that?
And my method.
Yeah, probably we should move it over there as well. Oh, yeah.
Where do you guess I should move it? Wait until clickable. To the base or to the login?
To the base.
Why?
Because you can use it not only on login page, you can use it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And we should do it protected.
Exactly.
Look at you. You are on fire today.
Yeah. And so it's still complaining that it's not found.
Oh,
so.
yeah,
Because we didn't scroll up, there's a...
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
I'm
the whole
gonna-
thing we can move it really. It's not the place for. It's, again, it's in technical details, really, not like the test case details. Kind of, right? Or maybe no. Anyways.
Mhm. Okay. So it should be fine. So I don't need it here. Alrighty.
And then we need to click it actually, right?
Yeah, we need.
Oh, submit should take care of that.
Yeah, submit should take care of that, and I already passed.
So you see, submit method now actually does two actions. It waits for spinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it actually clicks it, which is, we kind of say it's submit. We're not saying it's like click. It's a service. We say like, hey, submit it, right?
And yeah, in the page object, it's already used two methods, waiting and...
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a kind of purpose of
Yeah.
you delegating to the page object model. You're saying, hey, you know how to submit it. Please like do whatever needs to be done in order to submit it, right? Again, it can be like click, it can be enter, it can be tab enter, it can be whatever. Just like do something, right? Somehow, you know it.
All right, so for a type text email password, we already implemented. For clicking to the login, it's a submit. So the one thing is left, it's we are asserting that avatar is present, right? After we logged in. All right, let me delete it.
You need to provide a valid email and password. It's just a weird stuff right now.
Yes. What's my password?
You can just
this one.
Okay.
You can make it hidden also.
Huh?
Email and password.
What?
No? You can make it hidden also.
Not today. Yes, everything is possible.
Yeah,
we're just going like step by step. You see, we did boilerplate code. It's ugly. Here we are doing this. We're structuring it, giving it a shape. It still has some issues. Like password is exposed, right? Like, come on. Anyways, step by step.
Yep.
So let's do what's the last step? Actually, let's maybe run it.
Yeah, just what I thought, just to see, just to make sure it's working.
We never run it. We don't even know if it's fine or not.
Maybe the whole POM idea is not. Okay, so it's saying that login. What did I miss? Oh wait.
Oh yeah, we need to get rid of this. Not.
Okay, let's just comment out.
It's not even compiling. Yeah. Cannot even run if there is an error. There is no such method. It won't even compile. So this thing prevents you from running it and failing when it's running at runtime. So that's the difference between the compiled language and interpreted languages like JavaScript. JavaScript will work, but then it will crash probably later on. Python the same, huh?
No, it won't.
It won't?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's saying now that null pointer exception. It's a very common issue on Java, actually. Let me see what we messed. Where did we mess up? So when you're initiating driver here, right? It's like all in purple. And we kind of know with the same driver, we're passing in the login page, right? Let's go to the login page. So, oh, I think it's because, wait.
No, I think it should be fine. So can you scroll down? On the red, where the error is.
In the base?
No, on the at the bottom, this panel with the error. It should show you like, okay, base page, login page, like click one of those guys. Oh yeah, right.
Oh yeah, so it's saying it's, I mean, you see here, it's a null. Like we will get the value only after the constructor will be run, right?
So yeah, fields are getting initialized first, and then constructor. So what we wanted, and we are having this new WebDriver rate on top. So we will be executed first, but at that moment, driver is null. It's before we call the constructor, right? So what we need to do, we can just declare it above as it is over there, but then, no, just put it in constructor. You can keep it over there if you wish, but just declaration piece, yeah. So create WebDriver wait, my wait var, whatever, and move it on top, the same thing. And then now we, first of all, we take the driver and assign it, and the next step we'll use it right away. Make sense? You following? We cannot wait before we get a driver, right? If there is no driver, there is nothing to wait in. So we need to get a driver first, and then we can say like wait, right?
Yeah.
Just the order.
Here's
you cannot drive before you don't. If you don't have a car, you have to buy it first, right? The same thing here. You cannot wait. There is no driver. What does that mean? Doesn't make any sense to.
Because again, here we are initiating it, but it's null. And this one is also null, right? The only value we are passing to the driver and wait, it's actually after we're running constructor. And here, driver is not null anymore. So it's actual browser. The same for wait.
All right, let's do it one more time.
All right.
Woo! Boom shakalaka. Wow, look at this. Wow, I even entered something and waited. And well, we don't have assertion, but we do a job, huh?
We do have assertion actually.
Where?
But it's...
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, because we have implicit wait as well. Yeah.
No, we're explicitly waiting for the login is clickable, right? And it's still loading. I mean, this is implicit.
Yeah, definitely when we will start doing it, we will rewatch it.
Well, the good thing now we can actually push this, right, Azat?
Yep.
And you will get this as an example once you pull it. And basically, we kind of stubbed out those methods and some structure already. So if you need to take care of your PDPs and everything, you just follow the same example. That's it. Hopefully it's clear, at least like some idea.
Yeah. The last question, guys. I mean, one of the last questions. So we still have this low-level written assertion for the avatar, right? The avatar is present. Where do you guys think I need to move it?
We can create a method like for verifying.
To the login page.
To the login page, okay. Let's say if I sign up, would I see the same avatar or no?
Yes, it would be the same.
To be the same?
Yeah, we should move it to base.
Why is the same?
No.
The main page is the same.
No, because header is the same on the login and sign up, right? Yeah, and where should I put it then?
Base.
I mean, yeah, I can like put it to the base, or I can like create different page object for this. Yeah, for header and footer. But I feel like in my case, what I would personally do, I would probably put it to the base. If wait, I will need to be sure that this header will present in every page, right? Because the footer is not present in any page. And we may have, like, let's say in the checkout, there may be not footer, header, right?
I never did a checkout. So
I mean, let's try.
So I would probably create a separate class for that.
Yeah, yeah. So because it's not guaranteed it will be in every page.
Again, if we go to the page where it should not be, we will actually declare that on the page itself. So if you even try to attempt header from your test class, it won't show up. It will say like, I don't know, what are you talking about? Like header is not applicable to this page. Like,
yeah.
Right? Make sense?
Yeah.
So if I create the different header page object, right? What would be the structure? How structure would be changed? Like currently we have a base and login, right? Which is a child from the base. And if I create sign up page, it will be like two childs for the one parent. If I create the header page object, how structure will be changed? I still need to use it under the login, right?
It will be a child of base, but parent for login and sign up.
Yeah. There's no tricks. All right.
Yeah, you can do it that way. I think it has drawbacks as well.
Drawbacks?
First of all, it's not technically a page. Second of all, I mean, how would you navigate to footer page?
Yeah.
It's a part of page. It's part of some pages, actually. Not all of the pages.
But you still can.
Right?
Base page, it's not the page too.
Base page is like some abstract page. It's not existing, but it keeps like all the common for pages.
But in general, we can create this abstract header page.
Just think about it. What I would say, just think about it. There's a few options with its own pros and cons. Ideally, we want to build like the very precise system that will represent like everything. So if on a customized page there is no footer, you should not be able to call it from the test case. It should prevent you saying like, I don't know what you're talking about. There is no such thing. And it will be right because there is indeed no such thing, right? Otherwise, what you can do, you can say like, no, you know what? It actually has, in this case, like you said, it will have that. The customized page will inherit that footer from the base, right? And you can call it from test method. What will happen? It will crash because there is no footer, right?
So we kind of want to prevent from some
Yes.
actions.
Yeah, we really don't want to like give too much of power if it's not applicable. Like footer, you can see like, oh, it's cool. There is a footer. There is no footer. It should crash, right? It's not valid at all, not applicable. So in this whole thing with encapsulation, you want to prevent and only expose like what really applicable to this page for the test method, right?
Well, then we need to create the right like tree of all.
We need to think about how to kind of structure it because well, the good part on the application side itself, it's how it is actually. So
yeah.
We just need to kind of re-implement that on our side as well. Right?
Yeah. All right, guys. So one more thing that I forgot to mention. Let's say I work on login success test, right? And I created this method. I push it to the login page. It's all like this. Let's say Dennis is assigned to create login error test, right? Or empty, like any other test case. Should he also create like the same methods, or he can reuse mine? Let's say like empty passwords login.
Obviously reuse.
Yeah, obviously reuse. So yeah, that's why you just need to do the same thing and just to pass empty string, right? And
I mean, if you want to create the second test case, you can just copy paste, rename it.
yeah, exactly. That's why you guys need to communicate to each other within your team and let us know, hey, I already have this method that you can reuse instead of duplicating the code, right? That's the full purpose of page object and creating a framework. This will be handy to use. Imagine like if you want to create like a second test case using our first approach, right? With like bunch of the codes and, you know, clicking everything. All right, guys, that's all for today.
Hey, yeah, we're leaving. Sorry.
Yeah. So for grooming for getting really back for that we didn't groom. So refactor, you will need to refactor your test using POM. It's also your part of your homework for this week. Knowing that, how much do you think it's gonna take you?
5.
Come on, it took
I
us
agree
an
with
hour.
I would say 3.
3 day, 1 month. 1 month?
I will commit my code. You will have an example of the login page. How is?
Yeah, just follow the same thing.
Yeah.
We have to do the same actually.
Yeah. Just a little different
Just
page.
for your pages. And well, you actually get text, enter text methods. You just need to basically specify the locators, and that's it. Yes, exactly. It's already there. It's gonna be there, so you can only reuse that.
Yeah.
So basically, base page is gonna remain the same. What you need to do, just inherit from base page, and then.
Alex Kim has all his test cases about logging. It's pretty easy for him to create those test cases. We already did it.
Yeah. Yeah, but he shouldn't have them actually. He should have assigned from my profile. But because he has them right now, like it's okay.
No, actually, Azad made me to add additional 5 test cases, which are exactly for my profile. Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't know why he don't like me that much.
No
but
cheating. Nice.
Okay, how many points, guys?
1.
4.
4. Okay, 2, 4, 3,
Middle.
3. Okay. Okay, 3. Any objection, guys? Maybe you don't have to do it by your own. Maybe your teammate will do it for you, and you will just reuse. You will just need to, but you will still need to refactor your tests.
Yeah, you're kind of supposed to have those tests already in place. You just need to refactor them, create a page object model. Technically, should be less code than you have right now.
This will be more clear, more easy. Because the whole logic already implemented, you just need to structure it. All right, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, okay, guys, thank you for joining us today, and I will see you on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too, guys.